So in 1942, you were the individual titleist, won the NCAAs, and you said it was 2 days of stroke play, and then it was a match play?
Match play, 64, qualifying. There's a background there that I want to certainly identify because it's an important part of my own career, so to speak. The team got set to go to North Bend, to South Bend, to play at Notre Dame. Notre Dame was the host. And Eddie came to us with the very sad news that the athletic department didn't have the money to send us. And so we weren't going to be able to go. Well, I found that absolutely intolerable. And so I asked how much money we needed. And I was told we needed $2,500 bucks. So I organized a campaign. But before I could do that, I was told I had to get the president of the university to approve of the process. So I went to see Ray Lyman Wilbur, who was an austere, remarkable figure. He'd been I think, Secretary of the Interior, or I think in the Hoover administration. And he was a gaunt, tall man, and he wore high collars and very, very strictly attired and in terms of his personality. And so I had some trepidation about having to make this sales pitch to him. And in those days, the president's office was in where the history corner is now, and there were no secretaries around. It was just a door with a piece of glass, and it said president on it. So I went and I knocked on the door, and I heard a muffled voice say, "Come in." And I walked in, and he's sitting at a roll-top desk, so that I've got a profile of it. And he's busy, he's writing. And without stopping writing, and without looking at me, he said, "What do you want to see me about, young man?" And so I gave him my pitch. He then reached into the cubbyhole on the desk, pulled out a checkbook, wrote me a check for 25 bucks, turned around and looked at me and handed me the check and said, "Good luck, young man." Those were the days.
Oh my goodness.
And so I raised the $2,500.
Oh my goodness. So talk about the tournament itself, the national championship.
Well,
back at Notre Dame.
There's a very strong element for me that I'm playing in a national event, and I'm playing for Stanford, and I'm with that team and with those teammates, and with Eddie Twiggs. It was a mystical experience for me, no question about it. And talk about mystical. My golf game fell into place in a way that I had seldom experienced before and seldom experienced since. And it was I would have thought that if you ranked me in that setting of those 64 players, I'd have been down about 25. But the fact is that I could play, and I played very, very, very well. I got into the finals, and I played Emmanuel Delatorre, and Emmanuel Delatorre was of Northwestern. His father was the pro of North Shore in Chicago, very important golf club, a very prominent teacher. And Emmanuel obviously was a very strong, good golfer. But, I shot 69 in the morning, and I beat him 5-4. Mm. And I have to say, I think I saved Manuel's career because he has a very significant career. This is facetious maybe, but it occurs to me. He became one of the leading teachers in the country, Emmanuel Delatorre. Instead of going on the tour, which he was planning to go out and play professional golf, he really turned his life to teaching. And the reason I think I saved him was because when I could beat him 5-4, he knew he didn't have a chance out there. So he was a very nice guy.
Would you say that was the highlight of your playing career as a golfer?
Oh, without any question. It mattered. It had all those dimensions, and of course it was an ultimate title, in my view. I've had one other experience that I'll comment about briefly, but that ranks somewhere near it. But it was all things considered truly the ultimate, and to add to the whole impact was to get on the telephone with my father, say, "Dad, I won." Neither of us could speak. The other, from my perspective, there can't have been a better time to have been at Stanford. It was clear that when the war came, it was never ever going to be the same. And it was a consummately wonderful, literally beautiful experience for me. And golf was a feature of it, but there was so much more than that added considerably to whatever I became as a human being.